Good evening and welcome to a new episode of To The Point. Today's a special episode and we're celebrating Eid al-Adha. We have a lot to talk about today when it comes to the initiatives that the government has done to help those who are less privileged celebrate Eid al-Adha. And we're joined this evening by Dr. Mona Arishi, a social responsibility advocate. Good evening to you, ma'am.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's a privilege and a really honor.
Thank you so much. There have been several initiatives done by the government to help those who find, there's a difficulty obviously when it comes to prices and the ability to buy a lot of basic goods. So the government decided to do a lot of initiatives, including the Decent Life Initiative, where they passed out about 60,000 boxes of food for people who find it difficult to buy these kind of things. What do you think of this initiative itself and when it comes to the underprivileged?
Right. So actually Eid al-Adha is all about food and sharing. Mm-hmm. So it's absolutely fantastic to have people receive during Eid al-Adha in terms of food. But I think the holistic approach of Haya Karima is really, really important, because it's not just about food. Food is only a small part of it. Yes. And the underprivileged need to feel that they are part of the society and the community by eating as anybody else is eating across the country and even across the Islamic world itself. But what I can see is really an added value is how we make everybody feel by the Decent Life, which is Haya Karima, which I love. The name really, Haya Karima, makes sense to me, and it's a lovely brand for such an initiative. So allow me to use this word in Arabic, even though I know
it's a lovely word.
It's okay.
Yes. Can you tell us a bit more about the other initiatives? I mean, they've tried also like the Kullina Wahid, or we are all one, since we're going to start using the Arabic words.
Yes.
They've also done other sort of initiatives like providing discounted prices in different hypermarkets and in different restaurants and so forth to celebrate not just Eid al-Adha but also the June 30th revolution. They decided to discount things from about 25 to 60%. How important is this for people?
It's very important because this is another dimension, another aspect. It's not just the government that is helping here.
Yes.
We are, all the businessmen, the rich people are bringing around, so the discounted prices are definitely part of the initiative, because they are putting down their prices, especially for those two occasions, the 30th of June as well as Eid al-Adha and so on. Again, it is about how the community addresses each other. It is very important to feel this solidarity across board, and not only again for food and prices and being able to buy goods. It's about how the holistic approach is. And by holistic, I mean the body, the mind, the heart, and the soul. So when we are sharing across, so this is only food for the body. It's basics and important, very important, of course, for people to feel that they are satisfied in that dimension. However, what Haya Karima brings and the other initiatives is a feeling that the community is not separated. We are all one.
Yes.
Kullina Wahid as well, but not just that. Kullina Wahid means that we feel for each other, we appreciate each other, so nobody is neglected, nobody is underprivileged and left alone. The third dimension, which is the heart. I think that the beauty that Haya Karima, for example, buildings, is bringing, it's an architecture, because I am an architect at heart, and I know that having beauty around makes people feel happiness.
Yes.
So this is something that when we address, it is intangible, different from the tangible, goods and prices and so on, but it's very important because it is allowing people to feel happiness, joy, that they belong, that they are not alone in this, in our beloved country. That we are all one, yes, again, but it's not that tangible only, it is also the intangible. And of course, the soul part is we are connected, and, Egypt, we are really, really someone who are, everybody from the youngest people all to the, across the community, we really are spiritual people. And when we share this, we feel good. The givers and the receivers both feel very good. So I think this is bringing around a lot of positive energy. I hope this will be a fantastic Eid for everybody. So, and I hope it is enjoyable for everybody as well, because this is something that comes in the air alongside the goods, the food, and the buildings, and everything that is provided by the government.
Yes. Since we're sort of spreading out of just the gestures of feeling, oneness when it comes to Eid al-Adha, because there are a lot of people that actually, give out food or help out, the less privileged people. These foundations like Haya Karima or Decent Life and Kullina Wahed have done a lot of things for people of a lower income bracket. How important, as someone who's a social responsibility advocate, how important is this for the people who are in this category? When, obviously financially it's very important to them, but does it make them feel like they are part of the society, make them feel more integrated into society?
I think also it's bringing another aspect, which is quality of life.
Yes.
The quality of life, we can measure. There are KPIs and measurements for measuring quality of life.
Yes.
And there are some reports that we are not such a happy, I don't think so. I disbelieve it. We are not such a happy country, but I believe the opposite. We are such a nice and, let me say, funny people. We enjoy a joke. And I know that we were rated on top of the ratings related to really people who enjoy a joke. And we laugh, and this is how we manage also ourselves in crises. So going back to the dimension of quality of life,
yes.
When people feel that they are taken care of across the board, so the education is taken care of, the food is being taken care of, even the celebration during the holidays and the Eids are taken care of, then they will believe that this is something that will cause happiness. Yes. And then eventually a better quality of life. It takes time, by the way, and it takes a lot of investment. And for this to change takes time, but small activities such as like we are seeing today will eventually, building blocks that will at the end of the day, stepping stones, building blocks, at the end of the day will make a difference across the community.
Yes. These initiatives have also not just worked when it comes to cities, but they've also looked into rural areas and villages across the nation that have previously in the past been, forgotten about, basically. They've provided the essential infrastructure for these villages and countryside towns. Do you think that this will help also when it comes to modernizing the workplace for people who work there? I mean, who work in either the countryside or work in factories and industries as well?
Yeah. So let me share a dream. Yeah. A dream is to have every single small city or country or a rural area or a markaz or whatever is somewhere that is bringing a lot of light and addition value to the country. There is nowhere that doesn't have value. And the strengths and the weaknesses are there. We have been, Upper Egypt, for example, was the basis for the civilization before. And it's very easy to bring that back again. Of course, each place has its own special character and strengths and weaknesses, as I said. So if we bring at least the infrastructure there, this is a very good foundation and basis for the people to, again, feel motivated.
Yes.
Because once the people feel motivated, this is the better, like I say, the intangible infrastructure that we will be able to build on, plus the actual tangible infrastructure, such as the factories and so on. And we have excellent minds. Wherever we go, with a very small investment, we are brilliant.
Yes.
So we will just open up the opportunity for people across the country, and that would make a big difference across.
So should, building on this point, do you think that since each part or each governorate in Egypt has their own, we're obviously similar in many ways, but each governorate has its own culture and, folkloric arts, for instance, and all this. This can also be integrated into modernizing it? Do you think that this will help?
Absolutely. The socio-economics definitely build on each other. There is no one place that has everything. Of course, Cairo now is a really conglomerate. However, still, Cairo eats its vegetables and fruits from the rural areas around.
Yes.
So there is no such thing as a place that is totally independent from the other. We are one country, and I believe if we start utilizing and understanding the strengths of everywhere, which is happening as we speak today, it takes time because we are a huge country and so different areas. Like, for example, if you take Nuba, if you take Siwa, if you take you know, Sinai. So
Yes.
if all those, whenever I mention a word, you find, you visualize in your own brain something different. Can you imagine when everything is integrated together and how we come together like that?
Yes.
I always remember the Rida company, you know, Firqat Rida,
Yes.
where they had all those folkloric dances, and how the diversity of this country came even different in the way the dances were done, the clothes were done, and by the way, even the food and the people. And we have the nice features of different features across the country. So this is in itself like a whole world. We are a universe in Egypt. So if we manage to bring everybody together, we are, you know, like nobody else.
Yes, yes. Do you think that the average citizen also has a role to play when it comes to this sort of integration of the society itself, or it should be the sole responsibility of you know, the government itself to try to upgrade the living standards of people? Like NGOs, do they have some sort of role within all of this?
So there are the NGOs, of course,
Yes.
and they are very specialized now. So this is very, it's excellent, because we need specialization, like, because it's a business. We need all different businesses to come together with different focus areas and specializations.
Yes.
We are very highly rated in terms of how the NGOs are effective, and we have won many prizes in the region and across the world. But I'm also looking at the individuals. So not only through the NGOs, we can have a fantastic power, human power, through volunteering.
Yes.
And volunteering, I'm an advocate for volunteering, because in volunteering you have a win-win-win. You win yourself because you learn new skills, and you benefit the area where you are, the organization you are volunteering to, and of course at the end of the day, the whole economic dimension comes together.
Yes.
And if we are using this concept of volunteering, plus the NGOs with the specialization, plus all those initiatives happening from the government, from the business people, you know, businessmen and women.
Yes.
Whereas, I mean, that's it. We are destined, you know, to success and to growth, because that's the recipe that had been tried before, and it worked with other countries. And I'm sure Egypt is a very fertile place where the same will happen once we bring everybody together. And it's happening.
Yes.
But it maybe needs more focus and coordination.
Yes. I mean, the idea of providing someone, and this is, you know, the idea of providing someone with a fish rather than teaching them how to fish could be also an issue. Like, for instance, yes, it's wonderful that the government is providing, you know, these food boxes and support for the underprivileged, but also providing them with job skills and, you know, work is also important. Do you think that they're doing enough towards this?
I think it's becoming much better than before.
Yes.
The initiatives, even Haya Karima, by the way, one of the dimensions of Haya Karima is using the people in the community to build.
Yes.
And the contractors in the areas for them to deliver, you know, the Haya Karima buildings. So it is happening as we speak. But as I mentioned before, it's body, mind, heart, and soul.
Yes.
Going back to this, when the mind is also satisfied, when people learn skills and know their own value, they are effective in the society, and the GDP will be better. So it's not just that we are giving money or tangible boxes and so on. This is very important. This is one dimension, which is the التكافلية. However, we need also to bring التنموية, which is really how people grow, and then the community and the society grow as well.
Do you think that other than providing jobs, I mean, obviously with all the mega projects that have been taking place around the nation, there are lots and lots of hundreds of jobs for a lot of people. But part of also growing is trying to teach these workers new skills. Do NGOs come into this when they try to teach? Because I remember previously, years ago, there were a lot of initiatives when it comes to women to teach them skills so that they can work, like you know, handmade crafts or sewing and so forth. Is this something that is still ongoing?
The women is, you know, like this is the 50% of the society.
Yes.
We cannot ignore women by all means.
Yes.
Women work anyway. Either they are, you know, really producing artifacts or something that is worth money, or even producing something very important, which is the young people who are well bred and part of really a community and a society. So I think teaching women or the education of women and ensuring that they are not underprivileged or left out, especially from the education system, is absolute necessity. If we build a woman, and I mean, I'm not saying something new. This has been said by many, many very, enlightened people across Egyptians and otherwise, of course, but from here in Egypt, and you touch on an area that is very important for me.
Yes.
I myself am an advocate for women, and I'm an advocate for women across the social ladder.
Yes.
So, and we have, by the way, 60% of the society is under 30 years old.
Yes, young people are everywhere.
Young and ambitious and willing to learn and open. 30% are women, 30% are men.
Yes.
So if we really take care of this 30% out of the 60%, then you are really taking care of the future. Because there you are building up something that is very important. You are putting the seed for a fantastic future, for someone who would understand the future and be able to build a smart community. And we have now the saying, very important one, which is work smart rather than work hard. So how you use your tools, and now the internet and the way the online training is available for everybody.
Yes.
And by the way, train the trainer, young people who can volunteer and teach each other are all over the place.
Yes.
So it's a very ripe now and fertile land for women and young men. And by the way, they are always integrated. To have a good family means both of them needs to be really taken care of, so they are bringing something that would build up the family in a proper way.
Yes. In recent years, we've seen the government focus, like you were saying, that on women.
Yes.
Including these foundations like Haya Karima and Kulina Wahed. There are a lot of initiatives that basically focus on women. And like you were saying, it's all about mind, body, and soul. It's not just providing jobs, but they've also focused on things like women's health, and they focused on, even rights and laws. Yes. How important is it that we not just focus on, providing a job where they can get, a salary at the end of the day, but also providing them with the health care and providing them with, being equals to men, I suppose, in society?
Yeah, we are women, of course, but that's not only that.
Yes.
The body is your tool in life.
Yes.
So taking care of that, like health care and food, and ensuring that people learn how to properly live in well-being, so even doing very basic sports, and not necessarily like sports, like how you move, how you take care of your body at home when you are working at home, even, cooking and cleaning and so on. So the programs that have been addressing women, and as I said, women from the dimensions of body, mind, heart and soul, also take care of something like entrepreneurship. Because if they learn crafts at home and they have handy made very nice ones that they can sell, they must also learn to market them, how to quality manage them, so they are able to sell and then build up really a good income, and not fall into any loans or become indebted. So they should be having the ability to close their debts, and nobody would be in jail because they are starting a small project.
Yes.
So teaching women how to manage small businesses, and also what to do with their small businesses, even if something goes wrong, especially with all those economical challenges that we are facing today, is part of the equation. So teaching the women their own rights, of course, because an unhappy lady, an unhappy woman will definitely be a negative in the society. She's not going to be in the right, gears towards success.
Unproductive, basically.
Unproductive and even negative, because can you imagine what will happen for this family when the woman is not good?
Yes.
So we need to provide a full dimension service to the women across, again, it's very important, across the classes.
Yes.
Class D, Class C, underprivileged, even the well-being, in the A class. This is very important. The laws should govern the rights, and we in Ramadan, last Ramadan, we have seen many dramas around that. They were very, let me say, a bit of sad ones, but to the point. We are in this today to the point. So I love that we are bringing this under the lights in such an important area, which is the how we are addressing this and so on. Yeah.
Um, I mean, like you were saying, 60% of the population is young. But also there are other numbers that show that poverty in Egypt is very, very high. It's towards the 40% number.
Hmm.
How can the government somehow, I mean, this is a very big task, obviously, and we've been working on it for many, many years to try to uplift these people and uplift their lives and so forth. How can the government, get people within this bracket itself to rise above that line?
We have talked about many aspects and dimensions and, let me say, points. Mm-hmm. If they all come together, and I'm sure there is a big strategy there. So the strategy means that, providing for the infrastructure, education, taking care of women, and these all are happening. Building up society that is happy by providing good building, living conditions, jobs, and also making sure that all the young people are taken care of by sports. So sports is very important as well, because it is something that will take away the energy, the negative energy of the young people, rather than being this energy directed in the negative. We can really gear that into the positive.
Yes.
And how we are propagating that, broadcasting that. So less of a negative outcome on TV,
yes,
and more of a positive one will help people come together, because the family still goes around TV, by the way.
Yes.
It's happening back, especially after COVID, when people had to stay home.
Yes.
And this means that now the messages that are coming through the TVs are very, very important. So today what we are talking about, and more in our own, the language is English, but even in Arabic as well, it's very important to have a very well studied and focused message, because now we are addressing the family, the unit that is building the society. So going back to your question, how can we overcome poverty? Doing all this together. So the NGOs, the businesses itself, business people, even corporates, be that international corporates and whatever is here in Egypt. They are, by the way, using Egyptian people, so they are bringing more business to the country, and the government. All those aspects coming together, plus the volunteerism.
Yes.
I think this is a very good plan to go.
Yes.
And I'm very positive about the future of this country.
Yes, I can see that obviously everyone can see, anyone who's come to Egypt to see, is that there are major improvements when it comes to a number of different things, from infrastructure to housing and living conditions for a lot of people. What also can grab the attention of people is, like you were saying, that part of the solution is education. We're starting to see these initiatives where they're creating these informative pieces, either on TV or on the radio, telling people about their rights, whether it's women's rights or workers' rights and so forth. How important is this to educate the average citizen?
I think it's building up again the quality of life.
Yes.
And the concept of fairness.
Yes.
Because when you are talking about your rights and you feel protected by law, I think this will bring more businesses internally, so people will be more, let me say, enabled to do more businesses with accepting less risk, and even the FDI. So foreign investment will also come here, because they will feel that those laws are correctly implemented across, and the how fast this is implemented is very important.
Yes.
So we should not be having a long life verdicts to happen. The quicker the better, so people can, the rights should go back. And I remember even, in our history, there was this Khalifa sitting, and he's bringing his jury together, and the decisions were made on the spot. So I know that bureaucracy takes time. There are so many law cases outside there. But if we manage to bring, so people will be educated about their rights, but on the other hand, judgments are done fairly, and they are also publicized. So I believe this is one of the most important dimensions. People feeling safe and protected. So safe and protected by law, and safe because we are, thank God to that, we are a very safe community. I mean, if you remember where we were 6 years ago or 7 years ago, we are in a way, way better area, but still Safety has been always there because the people feel about each other. And we have this sort of solidarity, very basic in our society, no matter what.
Yes. Do you think that social responsibility, like you were saying right now, it's obviously not just the government's job, but it also is corporates, business people, and the average citizen's job as well? We've seen initiatives like Kulina Wahed having these corporates offer their services, not necessarily in terms of like a direct transfer of money, but they've provided goods at a discounted price.
Yeah, in kind.
How can the government sort of encourage more businesses to do this? Like, for instance, could they give them tax cuts or you know, benefits and all of this?
It is, by the way, law that
yes.
whatever is done through, let me say, charity,
Yes.
is tax deducted.
Yes.
So this is an actual law. I'm talking about even something more. Employees have skills.
Yes.
So instead of them, of course, they can, I mean, donate whatever money they would like to, but donating their skill by teaching others. There was this initiative. I'm proud to be part of it. It was during, I think, 2012. We were 3 big companies, and we had made a very strong initiative under the auspicity of the Solidarity, the Ministry of Solidarity at that time, also Ministry of Education, and many other entities. We were 11 entities at that initiative, where we have encouraged the corporate volunteerism to NGOs. So NGOs lack skills, and the employees have those skills, so they volunteered their time to support the NGOs. We can take this as a small, let me say, module and replicate it in the society. And by doing so, we are not only, so this is in kind, it's also helping with the education, improving the scalability and the employability of everybody across. So it's, again, a volunteering, a win-win, and people, when they share their skills, this is the most important, let me say, value they have.
Yes.
Like I can teach English.
Yes.
How important this is for someone who have not had the, the privilege to learn English at school.
Yes.
This is very important for the business, for them being able to search on the internet if they're doing a research, for example. So volunteering your skills and donating the skills is such an important aspect. I think this will build up a very big chunk, not only from the businesses donating their skills and being tax deducted, but encouraging their employees also to donate their skills and time for others will help across board.
Yes. Do you think that if these corporations, encourage their employees to go out and volunteer, is it going to be the corporation itself, or for instance, the ministries in the government could sort of encourage them, incentivize them to do this with their employees?
Both. Why not? I mean, we can gain everything. So and by the way, that application I was just telling you about, it was not something for profit, by the way. So I can mention the name. It's called Sharing. It had like a Facebook aspect, where people liked each other's volunteering, and this encouraged the others to volunteer more. So when you are getting likes on your action, you feel recognized. So even this small recognition by the others, so your corporate will be recognizing you, your colleagues in your company or other companies will be recognizing you, and this will be advertised and everybody, so you are encouraging. Like, when you are giving sadaqah, you give it, for everybody to see, so they are encouraged. The same aspect is applicable here, and I think having the government as part of it governs it. It makes it more organized, because it is under a mainstream line. So it's not just for advertisement or for money or for gaining some sort of PR. It is basic.
Yes.
It is important for the company to get their own PR. Why not? But the most important part is the outcome, the value for the people.
Yes.
If it works, that is a fantastic idea.
Yes. I mean, I'm not exactly an expert when it comes to these sort of initiatives and social solidarity, but do you think that maybe if there's some sort of organized body whereby they can recognize the people who have done an amazing effort? For instance, like there are awards for whatever, acting or music. There could also be awards for volunteers.
What an idea. I love it. Yes, I love it. We have like a red carpet event, and the awards go to the best people who serve. And there are so many different, aspects. So it's health, it's education. Again, like you mentioned, food. and the health has so many different branches. So we see for cancer, we see for women, you know, breast cancer, you name it.
Yes.
Burns, I cannot stop to, you know, name things. So if we can have that, I would love to have that idea, and thanks to you for mentioning it. I think it's very important to bring around it a big bang event, and the PR and the media comes and supports that. Why not?
Yes.
Amazing. Very nice. I love it.
Thank you. Do you think that there are other initiatives as well that they could focus on other than providing health care and other than providing education? Obviously, these are very important things.
Yeah.
But are there other things that could improve the person's, you know, feelings, basically?
Okay.
It's
Yes,
important.
Exactly. So thank you for that, all right? There is this initiative that is basically around building yourself,
Yes.
motivating yourself. And I am part of 3 or 4 different organizations that are basically just doing that, building your character from inside. And we have so many, I mean, psychologically, we as human beings have so many challenges when we're young.
Yes.
So by making sure that this is addressed, and it is connected to our spirituality, by the way, at the end of the day. So taking care of all this and making sure that the character is strong, you are building the main foundation. So if the people become, anybody can happen, you know, anything can happen in life.
Yes.
Challenges happen. Sicknesses, illnesses, you know, challenges regarding financial aspects happen.
Yes.
If the character is strong and the belief and the faith is there, because you believe in yourself and you believe in your creator, that nothing will hurt you. So there are many organizations doing so by understanding the psychology of the human being and bringing in tools for each person to be self-motivating and heal their own selves.
Yes.
So yes, and we can also, we you know, meditation, enjoying flowers, so many different things that we can do in nature, which is totally without any money.
Yes.
But that will heal the heart, as you mentioned, and body, mind, heart, and there are organizations
Yes.
specialized in this only.
Yes.
It builds up your power from inside, and you become a success no matter what you are doing.
May I ask, I know that this might seem like a silly question, but for someone who is in an underprivileged area, they're having financial issues or whatever, health issues, can an NGO like this that is trying to make them build themselves from within be taken seriously by these people?
Yes. Let me share my own experience.
Yes.
Upper Egypt, 2012.
Yes.
An area where the women could not even cross to the next village. They were, you know, like islands in the Nile, and nobody can cross. They were stranded in their homes.
Yes.
I discussed the body, mind, heart, soul concept, and we started to draw their dreams, the women's dreams. They were supposed to be bankable, so they had to learn writing, and they were illiterate.
Yes.
So they had to learn reading and nobody wanted to do so. So they didn't even have IDs, national IDs.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
So these type of women came around and they accepted this, and at the end of the day they started learning, they became bankable, and they had their own life. So it's for everybody. But on the contrary, being such an underprivileged, somebody addresses your own personality and character and takes care of this small, let me say, flame inside, it becomes it glows.
Yes.
And the person changes in front of your eyes. I was so happy to see this happen in front of my eyes. You know, that was a very challenging time in life in Egypt, 2012.
Well, that's amazing work you're doing, actually. But do you think that working with people at a younger age is going to be something that's positive or better for them to build a character rather than working with someone who's already an adult?
Everybody needs that.
Yes.
Okay, as I mentioned to you, we as children get a lot of challenges.
Yes.
And once we start addressing that at any age, change happens. Of course, with a young person, the future is in front of them. But with even an adult, they will be able to do so for others. So you are spreading light across.
Yes.
And it is very catchy and it's contagious. So I would do with anybody. And as I mentioned, when I went to those two small villages, I am sure that after I left, change happened in those two areas.
Yes.
And it was just, I was just an amateur myself.
Yes.
I did not really study something that makes sense. So if we manage to reach out with this small present
Yes.
of our time and our feelings to others, I'm sure this will be reaching, and there is no limit for age or class or gender. I think it's very important for everybody.
Here's to hoping to a better future for everyone, and,
Yes.
and we all, on my behalf, I guess, and everyone else, I'd like to thank you for all the amazing work that you're doing with everyone.
Thank you.
So, Dr. Malala Arishi, a social responsibility advocate, thank you so much for joining us and enlightening us on the importance of social responsibility. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, and happy Eid.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of To The Point, and happy Eid to everyone watching here on Nile TV.